It's taken me about a month to answer this question, and I apologize for the inconvenience, but because it is the 6-month birthday of my twins, I reconciled that I would do this YouTube for someone who will remain nameless. But here's the situation. It says, "Hi Dawn, reconciling with a former love. I began losing my eyesight this past February. My ex-girlfriend broke up with me in July. We had been together since March 2011. She said she left me because I didn't have the courage or guts to stand up to my father, a 70-year-old Baptist deacon with very strong religious convictions. My father apologized to us and gave us his blessing, but she said it was too late and fell on deaf ears. I had asked her early in our relationship, out of respect for my father, to not display a lot of PDA when we were around, but she refused and would push the issue till he got angry. We have come through rough things in our relationship, but I always told her I love her unconditionally. I take responsibility for her heartache. I just don't know what to do now." Okay, so let me first begin this by saying I'm going to treat you like you're one of my clients, and I want you to understand that I don't have both sides of the story, so I can only give you information based on what I have, and I'm going to dissect what you've said and, sort of break down from my standpoint, and then give you an example from my own personal life about, so I've had this experience. I've only been in one relationship, and yeah, she broke my heart, but it's all good. I thank her for that. And anyway, okay, so you began to lose your eyesight this past February, and your ex-girlfriend broke up with you in July. So February, March, April, May, June, July. So 5 months later, she breaks up with you. You guys had been together since March of last year. So you guys broke up roughly a year and some months after, you got together. Okay. She says she left you because you didn't have the courage or guts to stand up to my father. Okay, so number one, there's a couple of things going on here. One, you began by saying that you began losing your eyesight in February. Hold on, I have to go get my twins. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So you began by saying that you began losing your eyesight this past February, and then she broke up with you in July. So then I would ask you questions in regards to that situation, because I would wonder how somebody who cares for you so deeply would leave you at a time like that. So that's number one. Let me also say this. Anytime someone leaves you, you say, "She left me because I didn't have the courage or guts to stand up to my father, a 70-year-old Baptist deacon with very strong religious convictions." First of all, your mate shouldn't expect you to stand up to anybody, especially not your father. Exodus 20:12 says, "Honor thy mother and thy father so that your days are long." So right there's an area of being unequally yoked. Even when you go on to say, out of respect for your father, you asked her not to display a lot of PDA, but she refused and would push the issue till he got angry. Well, that's rude and disrespectful. That's not a good spirit. See, here's the thing. There are people that are good people, just that aren't good for you. And my ex is a prime example of that. She's a good person, but not the good person for me. And it took me you know, about 6 months to realize that. And then it took me another 6 months to get over the end of the relationship. And then she dumped me the day after my birthday. And I knew it was coming. And she, you know, didn't want me to display any, you know, affection in front of her family as well. And I respected that. But at the same time, she also didn't like the fact that I was pretty much, you know, I'm gay, now what? And so I think that there was a clash there, because even though she was a good person, the fact that I was everything that she probably wanted to be, like my family was very accepting of me, even my very religious relatives, you know, she probably wanted that. And, you know, I would then ask you in regards to your situation, what is her situation at her house? Were you around her family? Were they accepting of you? What was her deep-rooted anger or whatever the situation was in regards to her wanting to just do this to antagonize your father? Like, who antagonizes someone's father? That's the real question. So you say you have come through rough things in your relationship, but I always told her I love her unconditionally. Stop. Alto, as the sign said in Mexico, as I was driving through Tijuana, because nobody told me I wasn't supposed to drive across the border. And I didn't know that sign Alto said stop, because wasn't nobody else stopping. So what I ended up doing was I ended up driving myself right on through the Alto sign right in front of the El Policio, and ended up being followed out of Mexico. Or it's a long story, but the point is I need to stop you right here. Okay, that's the point. Just based on the little things that you told me, it's clear that she doesn't love you unconditionally. You know, and oftentimes we love somebody and want them to reciprocate the love the same way that we gave it out. And sometimes people can only give what they're able to give. No matter how good of a person, no matter how much you love them, no matter how unconditional your love is, sometimes you have to allow that reason and that season and let it go. You can't dwell, you can't ask questions, you can't try to reconcile. There are some things that are not reconcilable. Somebody disrespecting your parent, that's not reconcilable. Not in my eyes. Because if you disrespect my parent and now I'm losing my eyesight, you've now disrespected me. It's deeper than, you know, you couldn't stand up to your father. First of all, it's not even really about standing up to your father. It's about the fact that anyone who would love you unconditionally would never want to see you in any sort of pain. Because unconditional love doesn't hurt. It doesn't delight in evil. It doesn't delight in anything that causes dis-ease. And at a time like this, when you really need someone, she decides 5 months later, I don't think this is going to work for me. I'd say goodbye, and I wouldn't try to reconcile. And I'd remember all of the good times. See, with my ex, I haven't talked to her since 2010, December 10th, 2010 to be exact. To the point where 2 weeks later, or like a week later, I saw her at the gas station, and we acted like we didn't even know each other. And I had to not take that personal, because I had to realize that this was the end of the season. I had come to learn and discover. I learned, I discovered, and then it was time for me to go. And I haven't been in a relationship since because in that year, we went through a lot also. And I'm here to tell you that relationships that are healthy, you don't go through things every few months. You don't go through things every few weeks. You don't go through things every few days. You just don't. Because you're compatible. Now, you can have healthy disagreements. You can agree to disagree respectfully. But when you say we have come through rough things in our relationship, okay, you've been together a year and some months, and then she leaves you. So you both may be seeing this totally different. You may be seeing it as you guys are getting through things, and she may have been devising an exit plan from the beginning. Like, you don't really know what somebody else is thinking about until you see them a few years later after everybody's emotions have left. And then you can tell the person the real deal about how you were feeling. And right now it's too emotional. It's, you know, people probably won't even tell the truth about their real feelings right now. You know, it took me a couple of years to tell, you know, somebody very close to me that I was hurt by some things that they did to me. 2 years it took, though, 2 years. And so it's like sometimes you have to realize that it's best to not reconcile. And if you were asking me if you were one of my clients, I would tell you that it's time for you to go through the healing process to mourn the end of this relationship, because there's no way possible that you guys could get back together and the wounds that you feel now can heal. You wouldn't be able to heal these wounds for a while. People say, oh yeah, I'm over it. No, you're not over it. I just realized today that I'm not over a situation from a year ago. And it's not even the situation that I'm not over, it's the loss of the friendship that I'm not over. You understand what I'm saying? So it takes a while. And during this healing process, it's best you not contact this person or allow this person to contact you. Because if you allow this person to contact you, what you're doing is you're allowing the enemy to get you at your weak point. Right now, you're weak. And why continue to do the same thing over and over again? You tried it for a year, it didn't work. Why are we so tied to that one person that we've emotionally given ourselves to when it's easier just to enjoy the moment and let it go? It's not being harsh, it's not being rude, it's not being disrespectful. It's just simply saying, thank you for my moment, goodbye. Because people aren't meant to stay in your life forever. And I'm sure you guys had some good moments in that good year and a few months. I would cherish those moments and I would move on. And I would get with someone who respected my boundaries in regards to my parents. I would get with someone who respected my medical condition. I would get with someone who respected the fact that I'm sensitive because I'm a woman too. And I would get with someone who wouldn't leave me high and dry. There's no need to reconcile, and there's no need to feel bad for loving her unconditionally. There's absolutely no need to feel bad for that. But if you continue to go back and forth like a ping pong, you should feel bad for that. Because there's absolutely no way, and I just have to repeat, there's absolutely no way that you can heal this fast from what she's done to you and move forward. It's just the comfortable situation of the dysfunction. Like, you're comfortable because you guys know each other, you get comfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That would be my answer. I hope that helped.